Like a lot of artists, Juan Jose Hoyos Quiles spent years working a day job before he pursued art full-time. The former New Yorker now lives in Clearwater, where he devotes his days to painting eye-catching abstract works.
My name is Juan Jose Hoyos Quiles, and I'm an abstract, hard-edge geometric painter. That term, I think, started in the early 1930s by an artist called Theo van Doesburg, who coined a term called concrete art. And what that means is it's non-objective, and it usually involves flat colors, some kind of geometry, and is totally abstract and refers to nothing but really itself. Right now I'm working on a painting involving triangles of many different colors. I've tried making figural paintings or more fluid paintings, expressionist paintings, but they just don't work out for me. I am kind of a precise artist and I like geometry. I'm attracted to it. What I want people to get when they see my work is good composition. The colors might evoke things that the person has lived with. Anything from the color of the kitchen when they were a kid, or the color of a landscape, or a tree, or a flower.
Well, I have 3 pieces in the house. The first one actually was a gift for some things that I had done, and I picked it because the essence of it was pretty simple with a white background, and then the geometric figures were so intriguing that I just wanted to hang it up and look at it and see what it talked to me or how it made me feel. And it actually got me through a rather rough period in my life. I was recovering from surgery and COVID at the same time, and that painting hung over the bed where I was recovering. And it gave me a lot of time to focus and meditate.
I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. I've always drawn since a child. And from grades 1 through 6, I was introduced to a lot of the arts, theater, and music. I went to the School of Visual Arts in 1979 through the early 80s. Keith Haring was attending at the same time, and his career skyrocketed from there. Keith Haring was what you might call a later day pop artist. At that time, there were a lot of storefront galleries that opened up in the Lower East Side, which was a part of Manhattan, which was very gritty, drug-driven, and there were a lot of abandoned buildings. There were a lot of people, a lot of artists actually squatting in these areas. I had a loft where I did my work with my fellow artists. We split the rent, and that's how my art career started. I went to School of Visual Arts for 3 years. Throughout that time, I was working. I was putting myself through school, and money got tight. I did not have enough money to finish and get my degree. And New York being a very expensive city, I had to find a way to support myself. So I worked for a good 30 years in management. My transition to Clearwater, Florida started in 2014. My husband and I decided that we wanted to go somewhere warmer. I start with a blank canvas. I re-gesso the surface, which already comes with a coated gesso, which is a light plaster, because I find that the extra layer of gesso helps in that adherence of the tape. Sometimes I outline a composition directly on the canvas. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I start with a circle or a square somewhere and just build up from there. As far as the colors are concerned, that's kind of intuition also. I use acrylic paint. What I usually do is add a little gesso, a little matte medium, and a little water when I'm mixing the paint, and that gives it a completely matte finish. It doesn't have a shine to it. The reason why the lines come out so perfect, that's where the term hard edge comes from, is that the tape that I use is very sticky, number one. When I apply the tape, I use a spatula to actually press this tape into the surface of the painting so that I make sure it adheres and none goes underneath the tape. What I would say to a person who is stuck in a job, who has to support themselves for any reason and has loved the art previously as a child or teenager or early adult, and then you have to find yourself that you have to work, is to never give up. Once you're an artist, you're always an artist. You might not be making physical work, but you eventually, if you really want to do it, will get back to it, just like I did.
To see more, visit JuanJoseHoyosQuiles.com.